Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Addicted to the Q. You got me, Brian, Mr. Sofa King. We got the bum, Kevin Hesse, and the man, our guest, Eddie Wright with Eddie Wright's Barbecue. How you doing today, Eddie?
I
Hey,
am
Eddie.
here and I am blessed. Thank you guys for having me on today. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure having you on. I'm glad you were able to join us. You're a busy man.
Glad to be here.
Definitely. Well, let's take you back about 15 years when you were, 8 years old and got your first taste of barbecue.
The backyard family gatherings. I come from a semi-large family. My grandmother and family hails from Holmes County, Lexington, Mississippi to be exact. So there was a very big sharecropping family that pretty much kind of trickled into very large gatherings. And it was always cool to be a little kid, like a fly on the wall. Anytime you have family gatherings, the food's always good, but barbecue was just one of those things. Whereas I didn't start off liking it because I was a kid. It's just like, I just want stuff slathered in barbecue sauce. But as you grow and you start to kind of learn what you do like, things become much more enjoyable. So I kind of transitioned that into my adult life from military service to the Marine Corps. Lots of gatherings there, if you know. And just hanging around in the beer garden, and cooking was always the thing. Guys was always competitive with cooking and just wanted to see who could produce the best chicken or the best ribs or the best anything, whether it's in the barracks or within the platoon. So that just kind of, again, everything was just more transitions. After my military career, worked in IT for about 15 years and had battles with just mental health. And I used cooking and barbecue to help with my health and mental health. So barbecue essentially began for me as a getaway from troubled times and was actually helping me keep off unnecessary weight that I was gaining from just stress and old age and just when your body just kind of starts to break down. And that was just a simple introduction. And from there, it just was real organic, bought a smoker, was trying to get back into cooking, just having fun because I took a break from it for a very long time and just put an APB out there on social media. It's like, anybody need something cooked? Just give me a call. It's no charge. Little did I know that was the best and worst thing to do. And when I say this process has been organic, it literally started in the backyard of a townhouse and it grew into what I have today. And it's been literally a very organic process. And when the pandemic hit, we were furloughed. That's a very cute word for being fired, if you know, you know. And we decided to turn barbecue on full speed to see if we could just stabilize ourselves until the next job came along. And I haven't told the story a lot of times. My job called and offered me my job back for a 20% salary cut. And I said, no, thank you. I will bet on myself. And June 1st, 2024 will make 4 years. We have been full-time food truck barbecue.
Good for you, man. That is awesome. That's a great story there.
That is. Well, quick time out. Sorry to the viewers and the people listening. Thank you for your service.
Yes,
former
thank
Marine
you.
To a former Marine. Hoorah.
Yes, sir. Hoorah, devil.
Back to our broadcast.
No, but and real quick into that though, I mean, yes, thank you for your service. I've always just been a civilian, but I've always, believed in supporting the military and the different branches. Brian and I have worked together on some different projects and stuff like that. But it seems like we do come across a lot of people that did serve our country in different branches that have gravitated towards cooking. Barbecue is a lot of it, but we do come across that path quite often, Brian. It seems like whether it's in the competition world or owning, I have another friend that served in the Army that owns a food truck in northern Missouri. It's kind of all over the place. So I think what you kind of spoke about a little bit is the camaraderie that barbecue creates. What the reason a lot of us get around together, standing around the grill, families there, friends are there, but that's also when you're serving and again, I can't speak to that, but from what I understand, when you're serving, it's a camaraderie. You rely on each other. You're conversing. You're getting to know each other. You're becoming family, so to speak. So
Right.
I sort of see that commonality there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely that. And to take that a step further, it's just like, I know for me and for a lot of people, it's the pleasure of serving. It's a selfless act. Knowing that a meal or a break in a day to get something different to eat is actually giving somebody the ability to just kind of get things off of their mind is literally what I've been told. Is like, hey man, I really needed this meal. I really needed this. I really need this conversation, because we have a lot of talks with people, even at the food truck today. You just never know what people are going through or what they're up against and what food can do to help that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right there.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite meat to burn, and do you actually burn it, or do you make it look pretty?
I make it look really pretty. My favorite is a brisket. I love brisket. I love the pleasure. Again, I love the pleasure it brings to people who understand the art of it, because brisket is truly an art. It's real easy to mess up, but once you master it or get very consistent with it, you're able to deliver a product that people really do appreciate. And again, it didn't used to cost as much as it costs now,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of the nature of the beast. But I enjoy burning a nice brisket down, man, and just, creating that beautiful bark and, teaching people, again, you're teaching people that it doesn't take much to make a premium cut of meat taste good. You don't need pounds of seasoning. You just have to marry everything together. I call them the 3 T's: technique, temperature, and time. With those 3 things, you can make anything taste great.
Yeah. So and I haven't had the pleasure of having barbecue in Mississippi. It's one of the few states that I haven't, but what is Mississippi, or what is your style of brisket? Is it very different than a Texas style, than a Kansas City style? Talk about that. What kind of love do you put into that flavor
My
wise?
particular style of brisket is somewhat of a traditional Texas SPG, but with a flair, and it can vary. And I say vary because sometimes we're still at the process of, we want to continue to develop a more robust flavor here for what we want to call a Mississippi brisket. So we know that the base of brisket is always going to be salt, pepper, garlic. That's never going to change. Now from that, we try to do a spin with it to see, okay, how much pepper do we go? What form of pepper do we go? Did we go fine ground 16 mesh? Do we add a little pecan to it? What wood are we choosing? So that's where we take it from your traditional brisket up to what we want to, not necessarily define it as a Mississippi style brisket, but define it as the brisket that we cook here in Mississippi at Eddie Wright Barbecue. That's consistent day in, day out, Monday through Friday. Oh, sorry, Wednesday through Sunday.
Don't change your hours on it.
Right.
So to take it a step further, how do you serve your, obviously we're Kansas City, burn ends. If you don't have burn ends on a menu, people don't think you know how to cook barbecue here. But
Right.
I know that's not common everywhere. I know Texas has lean and then fatty. So
Right.
how do you serve yours? What do you offer?
We offer pretty much the same thing everybody traditionally does.
Okay.
You got your lean cut, you have your moist or your fatty cut, and sometimes we're able to get a burn in or two out of it. It's not always guaranteed. I'm pretty sure you guys understand that as well. You've got people who have different types of techniques to pretty much guarantee that they get burn ins, but we're developing our skill set to try to achieve that, but it's a lot of different trim points to try and get that guarantee. And it's a lot that goes into it, because sometimes you can get a brisket that's too big and you may not even get that. Or sometimes you get one that's too small. You get one that's real fatty. So it's so many variants that people don't talk about enough, other than, oh, you just whack it, trim all this off. And it's like, it's more to it than that, but it varies from pit master to pit master to pit master. You'll get one or two things that are consistent, but you get those other things that people are going to do their different way and still turn out an amazing brisket every time.
Well, and then also the time it takes to create that. I mean, that's extra steps and process, which in the restaurant industry is money.
Right.
And so it's determining, is that worth the bang for the buck?
Right. And
We're just,
that's where I kind of feel like we're transitioning to. We're not doing, 1,000,000 pounds a year, but we know we have numbers that we would like to hit and waste we want to stay away from. So we know that on certain days, okay, we can risk it for the biscuit on these days. And on certain days, we just kind of keep it traditional and we go for the gusto. And that's just kind of the chemistry. Again, it doesn't get talked about enough, but people know barbecue is very volatile. It's a very expensive habit to have. And for those who understand it, they understand why we have to charge what we have to charge. But again, it's not something you want to just have to, okay, we wrote off X amount of dollars every week, because that can put you in the ground. So it has to be a certain amount of consistency there. Even on the food truck side, it's a lot harder because there's not a lot of holding room for the things that I have. We work out of a commissary, so we got to get it out of here.
Oh man, yeah.
So
again,
we're growing and we can't wait to get some cold storage, but still we love the aspect of fresh barbecue, day in, day out, as consistent as we can. We've got the quality dialed in, we've got the consistency dialed in, we have the equipment. So that just kind of leads us to just really kind of going out, venturing, meeting new people, looking at processes, learning from these people, and seeing how we can create our own processes from what we learn.
Now, I got $1 million question. It's a fighting question.
Okay.
Fat cap up or down?
Depending on which way the heat's rolling.
Okay.
there
That's
you go.
trick they don't tell you.
like
Yeah.
we do. We see that everywhere on
Every-
Facebook and social media, and it's just a big argument. I'm like, you know what? However you want to cook it.
Right. And it's one of the coolest poke points. I like to call them poke points, where you just kind of poke at people just to have fun, because people don't know. But again, it starts off a great conversation. And even when people aren't hip to what's going on, you're teaching people passively about what the art of cooking this particular type of protein is, right? Because again, it doesn't matter. You just have to know how your heat, which is the other ultimate understanding of barbecue, how your heat is flowing. Which direction is it flowing? These are masterful things that you have to understand. People are like, oh, it's just in a pellet grill. Okay, yeah. I've seen people burn stuff in pellet grills all the time.
I would say pellet grills aren't all created equal either.
Exactly.
I've got a PG 500 where the actual fire pot's off to the left.
Mm-hmm.
It cooks like a convection oven versus
Mm-hmm.
a Traeger that's traditionally in the middle. So there's all kinds of factors in there.
So learning your pits, learning how that flow of air and heat move, that gives you the brisket placement. Like from the pits we have, they vary. Some are fat side up, some are fat side down. Some we wrap, some we don't have to wrap. It literally depends on the pit.
Yeah. What do I always say in the classes when I teach them, Brian? I'm like, I don't care what you cook on. I don't care if you cook on an egg, a drum, a offset, whatever. I go, just know your pit. In the end, you got to know. I mean, Alton Brown, I still actually watch the repeat of the Good Eats shows.
Mm-hmm.
He cooked a freaking pork butt. I watched again the other day in a terracotta pot. I'm like, if he can cook a pork butt in a terracotta pot that you grow flowers in, you can cook in anything. Just know how it works.
Know how it works.
Yeah.
So when you are honing your craft after the military days, but during the military days, traveling around, were you trying barbecue while you were out there kind of trying to
that was always the go-to thing, man. Anytime you don't want to go out, even when we're overseas, you don't want to go off base and do something, hey, somebody fire up a grill, go get some meat from the market, go to the PX and grab something. And again, we did that because it was just, again, the camaraderie of it all. You don't always want to be loud around a bunch of different people you don't know, but I can do it at home, and those units was home for us. So I can be as loud as I want to, I can be as casual as I want to, and have a good time doing so. I don't know how everybody else does it, but in the Marines, we're all about a good time. Day in, day out. I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna play even harder because I work hard. So during those times, we and the units where I was, that's what we kind of like to do. And even when I was just visiting other people, I was just like, hey, y'all cooking? Can I cook something? Because it was just always good. It was kind of like a flex sometimes. Hey, I can come into your area and I can throw down and make you remember me. Because everybody remembers the guy who had some badass chicken ribs or steak. You
Yeah,
will always remember that guy.
Yeah.
well, and
Oh, go ahead.
if you so it sounds like you did serve overseas at some point in time. And from what I had, a friend of mine that has a food truck who served in the Army, I remember this was probably 5 years ago. He was over, and he messaged me and he said, "Hey, I can't. Can you ship me some rubs? I can't." He was wanting to cook for his group of guys, and
Mm-hmm.
he was very limited where he was on what he could get. He goes, "I'm trying to get some back home flavor."
Right.
So I actually reached out to a good friend of mine. Brian knows Travis Bickings, who's a Marine, Shot in the Dark Barbecue. The guys at Code 3 Spices in Collinsville, Illinois. And we put together a care package of different rubs that we shipped over there and some sauces and stuff. And he messaged back. He goes, "Oh my goodness." He goes, "We were able to make this." I won't use the words he used on this podcast or meat type of meat that we got here. And he goes, "The guys thought we were back home." It was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I can imagine the challenges on trying to get spices and whatever and something just to create, to come up with something creative. You had to get creative.
You did, and that's the beauty of it, because again, in the military, you have so many people from so many different walks of life. So you got guys here and there that are like, "Hey, do this, and do this. This is what we do back home." And now you have that fusion, this southern. You've got the southern, you've got the West Indian, you've got your Jamaican, you've got your Western. Like, you have everything. It's a big melting pot, and that was the most fun part of it all. Like, hey, I had ribs that were seasoned this type of way from my guy who's from Hawaii. Then I had my guys ribs from New York, and everybody's kind of taking a little bit from each other. It's a big share circle. And it's like, at the same time, you're having the best time of your life after you've worked as hard as you needed to work or didn't want to work throughout the week. So it's like, it's just a give the entire time, man.
What's that they say when you get off the float? Two beers, or I think it was 2 beers is what they told us. 2 beers. That's all you get. 2 beers.
2 beers.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Good luck on those two, because we will acquire what is needed for a good time.
Well, let's jump forward now. So we've had 4 years of the food truck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back to the food truck though. On your sides there, how'd you come up with your side dishes?
Trial and error.
Okay.
When we first began, we were again just kind of working from home, and shouts out to a very good friend of mine. His name is Philip Rollins, DJ Young Venom. He owns a vinyl record store and comic books art store here in our city called Offbeat, and that's really where I got my start actually serving people. He would do an event called a Red Cup Kickback. It's an awesome event. Felt just like the military, people of all different walks of life. He had his comic book store and a breezeway that ran right down the side of it. And I would be out there with a grill selling plates. And that transitioned into, okay, well, what can we do sidewise? Because we know we can do good meat. What can we do sidewise? So that's where we started to just kind of play with certain things. And it wasn't always great. But again, I was dedicated to creating a consistent product. Not perfect, just consistent. And here's why I say that. What I've learned is that everybody's going to be different. If you're going to be in business, you're going to have to work with what's going to sell and what people are going to want. So a lot of our foods aren't highly seasoned, but they're consistently seasoned. Our beans don't carry meat, but they are seasoned very well with a few extra things. And that's been hard for some of my traditional customers to understand. But the minute I started to throw away more baked beans than I was selling, I knew that I had a problem. They were terrible, number one. Then two, it was just too much going on. Today's customer base, not everybody wants my traditional type of bean. They want something that they're comfortable with. And that's been with all of the sides, that's been the biggest thing. I need to get out. How do I get out of my head and into their brain on what they would look for from a food truck and what they would enjoy? So again, nothing started off perfect, but we definitely listen. We talk to people. We ask people, hey, what do you like? What do you don't like? How about this? We'll have some different stuff. We'll bring something out new. We'll sample it. Hey, chase this out. Check this out. Tell us what you think. And that's where, again, we leaned on the customer base. We leaned to the people to pretty much give us our Q&A. I mean, not our quality control of where they wanted their food to be. And we just followed suit.
I love that, because you weren't dictating, this is what I'm giving you. If you don't like it, to go
I've
away.
had a
'Cause you can't afford that.
lot. I've had a lot of people like, well, it's good, but it's not like I'm not here to cook like your uncle or grandfather.
Yeah.
But I am here to give you a consistent experience on rib, chicken, or beef every single time. I'm not here to give you all the sodium in the world, but I'm here to give you a quality product. And again, I love to teach people that and not just force it down their throat. And not everybody gets it, and that's understandable. But we've gotten for those who don't understand, they'll learn if they continue to come and visit us. And that's where, again, if it wasn't working, everything would be up for sale right now. And as we can see, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it's not. That's awesome. That's awesome. So so I'm going to go to Brian asked about what your favorite meat to cook. What is, and we'll take it whichever way you want to answer, because what is your favorite, or what are you most, what side are you most proud of that you've created? If there is that. I mean, that may not be, it may just be a good seller. So
right, because at the end of the day, nothing's original that we always do. I wouldn't say nothing. We have things that we do that are original, but I am more of a, hey, how can I take traditional and turn it barbecue and turn it my way? Right? Because essentially that's what majority of the time we're all doing. We're taking traditional, putting our own spin on it, and making it ours. So that's where my favorite thing was. There's several dishes that we have like that, where we've just kind of taken what was already there and, hey, let's barbecue it and make it our way. So we have a smoked tater tot casserole. It is a fan favorite. It is an insanely good.
I love tater tots.
If you love tater tots and love carbs, this is definitely the one for you.
Oh, yeah, I do.
The naps are complimentary whenever we cook it. It's won awards. It's just a really kick-ass dish, man. But again, we do it from start to finish on the barbecue, on the grill, on several different types of pits. And the beautiful thing about it, we used a smoked ground turkey. We do a variant of traditional our way, like I said. So we know sometimes people don't want a lot of beef or a lot of pork. So we have a catalog of turkey-based items that people really are enjoying. And they're shocked, like, I can't believe this turkey. It's like, yeah, you can transform any type of meat, especially turkey, because it takes seasoning very well. But you just got to be patient and let it do what it's supposed to do. So we've got the smoked tater tot casserole. And then on top of that, we have our smoked turkey rotel that we love to make. It's just a big, beautiful, robust dip, smoked ground turkey, cream cheese, rotel tomatoes, a little Velveeta, a little bone broth, mix it all together, throw some mushrooms and onions if you want to kind of, jazz it up a little bit. And people always say, aren't you tired of eating your own food? I was like, yeah, but I make that almost every day, and it's every day I'm eating at least a half a bowl because I just love it. It's kind of like chili. It's like, hey, I just kind of have to have some.
Just gotta have some. Yeah,
just gotta have some. Those are two things. Like, I will not, every time I make them, I will always eat some. I love it to death.
Oh man, that's it, Brian. We got to stop doing these things this late at night, because I already ate. I made fajitas on the loco, but I'm already getting hungry again because of this. So
I was just going to ask if you had any more turkey left over. So, from the sides, are you taking any of those to? I can't announce this, right? Because I've seen it on social media. Are you taking it to the new brick and mortar when you get it done?
Yes, and here's a spin to that, because what we are creating, eventually it will be a brick and mortar, but right now what we are creating is an outdoor green space using shipping containers.
Oh,
so it's
awesome!
Right, it's going to be the first open air. Well, it's going to be the first barbecue open green space in Jackson, Mississippi, where you'll be able to sit down, open air, have a drink, watch a game. And we're even putting a sound station, making it in one of the containers, so you'd be able to have a live band and do something like, live band and watch movies or whatever we feel like we want to do. And from there, my dream is to grow it into metal building, brick and mortar. How fast that happens depends on the support we get from the general public. But right now, that first phase one, which is what we're in now, is what we're in the process of building.
So that's all the containers I've seen you bring in.
Yes, those are the two 40-foot high cubes that zoning and planning have not liked, but we have convinced them to let us do what we would like to do with them, because we need them. We need storage. We need, like I told them, I don't have $10,000 to $15,000 for a site plan because I don't have a plan for a site yet. But I've got this idea. If you just let me do it, and it's not gonna look bad. It's gonna look great. I've drawn up drawings. I'm not AutoCAD certified, but I'm pretty hell on Photoshop. And I put together a nice little layout that I've sent to the associated councilmen and people who needed to know, including the mayor, and they loved it. So it's a great idea. It's not just something that we're just trying to throw together, but it takes time, and we're using our own funding, and that's where it's just like one of those things. Come watch us as we build it and grow.
So I got a two-parter, and the second one's going to involve you coming to visit Brian and I.
Okay.
The first one is, how did you? Because I watched some of your YouTube videos, which are just freaking awesome. By the way, I love some of the.
Thank you.
I watched the cinnamon roll TikTok thing earlier.
Hey man, look again.
I was like,
nothing's original.
No, I know, but that was like, okay, I need to do that, and I had some ideas in my head after you did that. So where did you get? Where did the creativity? Where did the idea come from for this? Because this is very unique. But that's where my follow up comes.
It's just knowing, like, and Brian knows. You've been around the world, you've seen things, the world is moving without you, whether you're moving or not. So when I look at where I am and where I've been, it's like I know there's so many other cool things you can develop anywhere other than what they're trying to force you to do, right? Mm-hmm. So and this was one of my conversations with some of the people down the planet. It's like I don't have $100,000 dream right now. I've got a cool 15,000. That's all I need.
Yep.
That will turn into whatever I need it to be, but trying to force me to go spend more money than what I need, is where it came from. I'm not I'm a Marine. I believe in bucking the system because of how we've just kind of been raised, but at the same time, it's like I have a dream. I've invested my time. I bought something nobody wanted. How dare you tell me what I can't do with it? So that's where that ultimately came from. Shipping containers are cheap. We're about being cost efficient. I'm about being cost efficient with what I'm doing right now because every dollar counts. So I look at my own labor, my own ingenuity, and what I can do with these two hands and this brain, and I say, okay, cool. I can do this. I've got a 6,000-pound truck that can push and pull whatever I want to if I need to do anything. Thank God I only had to move like 8 feet, but I can do this. So, and the beautiful thing about it, people see it, people get inspired, and people want to help. That's been the shocking part about me. I've had a bunch of different calls from people like, hey, just call me when you're ready. I've got a gentleman who wants to lay brick. As long as I buy the supplies, he's going to donate his labor. So this is where small business comes together to show the political system that with or without them, we can succeed. So it's more of a, for somebody who told me, like, you are a underdog story that is continuously trumping everything that walks in front of you. And it's like, I'm not trying to be that. I'm just a guy with a dream who just wants stability in his life and just wants to continue to put Mississippi barbecue on the map.
Well, and you're going about it, I call it the right way, because you're taking small steps in your own way. You're not saying, no, we want you to go out and take that $150,000 loan to move into that building that 4 restaurants failed before you. So there's obviously something going on there that's not good, but so you're doing it in a creative way. So, and you may already know about this. I don't know if you've ever been to Kansas City, but you're welcome anytime, Brian, and I'll, welcome you in. So there's an area called the Iron District in Kansas City, in North Kansas City. So Kansas City, just north of downtown on the north side of the river. A woman who owned a food truck was it called the Plantation, Brian? I think it was called. It was, but she ran a food truck. She did very well. And she decided she wanted to help other small business owners find a way. So created this out of shipping containers, multiple shipping containers. And I don't know the exact details, but long story short, they have a 1-year contract, and there's different restaurants. There's like women's boutiques in there, just in a shipping container, all that stuff. There's 2 bars in there. They have an outdoor area on Friday and Saturday nights, bands play, and it's all kind of in a courtyard. And it is the coolest thing because I know some people that have developed and now they have a brick and mortar, they proved concept and now they have a brick and mortar Mexican restaurant. I've seen barbecue in there. So it's kind of a cool, now they actually have some containers where you can hold business meetings in. So you can get some food, show up, have your business meetings in there and then go on.
Yeah.
So it sounds somewhat similar to what you're doing. I know yours is just you, but I love the idea because we take our family there, and just it's a fun time.
I saw it in Vegas, that same format. Vegas has that same format. It's like over 60 of them, different suites, boutiques, and everything.
Oh, wow.
Then you go to Detroit. Detroit has that same concept. So again, this is nothing new. It's just new to the people who create the ordinance. And even it's not new to them because we've seen it in certain areas within our city. So it's like, I know people are sticklers for the rules, but allow some interpretation into it and try and help the next level of business ownership. Because as I told the mayor, because of what's going on within economics and the world today, the businessman or woman of the future won't have $75,000 to $100,000 to put into anything, but they have 15 to 20. And guess what you can do with $15,000 to $20,000? You can outfit a container and make it awesome.
Yeah.
So why are we holding people up and giving them a hard time about developing because it's not what we understand? Figure out a way. Find a way. Get access to a tax base. Now you're growing things. Now you're inspiring more people. Now everybody's building stuff and robust, and you got less unused land. So it's just you have a vision and you just want to not necessarily pump it into other people's brains, but you just want to deliver it in the proper way to make them understand that, hey, we're transitioning. So should you.
Yeah.
So you didn't go all drill instructor on them or anything?
I didn't. I had to kind of hold back a lot, but it was definitely a great conversation I had with the mayor, and they understood. And as I told him, we watch the city get behind these major corporations and do things for them. When are we going to start to get behind the small business that is really trying to save the city? That's going to be here once they pick up and leave when things don't go their way.
And that's a common theme in any major city across the United States. I mean, just recently, not to get political, but in Kansas City, the tax did not pass to build the Royals and the Chiefs new stadiums. And the reason why is because the Royal Stadium was going to displace an area, came in last minute. They changed their minds where they're going to build it to displace an area of small businesses, shops, restaurants, bars that is very unique. People went in, it was a blighted area. They built these up. They put all their money and it was a grassroots effort. I honestly thought this is going to pass. It's big money. Everybody's behind the Chiefs.
Right.
I was blown away. So it showed right there. It's like, okay, the mayor was surprised. Like, okay, let's figure out something different. Exactly. So I loved it. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Let's make these big pocket, deep pocket people rethink what they're doing, that they can't just do what they want when they want.
Go buy some more land somewhere else. Like, it's not hard. It's not hard.
There were plenty of other places.
They'll get the tax breaks anywhere where we'll never touch it. So go ahead. Just go 20 miles out and do it. But don't bother us. And it's just, again, that's just the political aspect of trying to run a business in areas like we live. So
you should say, so Mayor, I need a tax break because I want to buy a new food truck for my land.
Man, if I could tell you some of the conversations I've had to have about having a food truck on my own property, it's been hilarious. But like I said, we're chomping at the bit. We're going to show them a little better than we could tell them about what we're doing, and we're going to, like I said, we're gonna put Jackson on the map in a beautiful way, man. Barbecue and music, they go hand in hand.
You are. You're that concept alone. I mean, when I came down there, 2 years ago or whatever, to Grills, Mississippi, I mean, we thought the place was nice down there, and I'm just like, your concept, it's gonna be a landmark. I mean, people are gonna want to flock to it. It just sounds awesome.
I hope so, man. So it's just one of those things. Again, we're in the process of just building it as we go. And when we do the sound stage, we're going to try to get somebody to donate us some funds so they can secure the name and rights of the sound stage for the next 3 to 5 years. You know, do it like a big stadium, but make it small. Small
That'd be
business.
so. I can see Sofa King awesome.
Would it be cool?
Right there. It would
Would
be
it be
so cool, man. Or Scout Pest Control. Which one will it be, Brian?
Hey,
Probably Sofa King.
it's gonna be so freaking cool, man. And like I was telling, and I told Jonathan, it's like I don't want to call a big corporation or a nationwide brand. I want to work with some of my local guys.
Yeah.
Like this is what's gonna help us. It's not like I don't necessarily want to do it with them. I want to do it with people who are out here trying to get it like me. It means more to me that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, are you going to offer your girlfriend, Sweet Charlene, for sale at this new place?
Yes, Sweet Charlene, and let's kind of go back into that. So, Sweet Charlene is my mother.
Really?
My mom is a now 13-year brain aneurysm survivor, and now as recently a stage 3 lung cancer survivor. So she's also the best cook that we know. So we are big on legacy here with the Eddie Wright barbecue brand. And again, with the pandemic and everything going on, losing a job, I've been blessed enough to be able to assist with caretaking for my mother and father at the same time over these past 4 years. It's been a challenge, but I've always wanted to give to give a tip of the hat to my mother's legacy while she's still here, not when she's gone on. So we created Sweet Charlene. We made a low sodium barbecue season that's not only good to you, it's good for you. And it's just something that we love to talk about and to teach people about. And just you'd be amazed at how many, when you give people a product that's not what they think it's going to be and teach them what they're tasting. And Brian, you kind of go through them with the flavor profile, what it's going to do, how it's going to perform. You're changing minds and you're making people live different. And that's a benefit. They may not be always tied to your brand, but they'll always think, hey, it doesn't always have to have so much sodium in order to taste good.
Yep.
It leaves room for everything. So Sweet Charlene, that's how Sweet Charlene came about. And that's been our reason to create it. And believe you me, a year and a half of development, and which ain't a long time when I talk to guys who've been in it a long time, but it was shocking to have it go over as well as it's gone over these past 2 years. So that's when that just kind of lets us know we got something special, and it's just kind of.
Do you have that offered in retail options and stuff, or is it just?
Yes, we do. We're on all the major social media outlets: Amazon, eBay, even our site with Eddie Wright Barbecue. We've got some local distribution with Kroger here in the metro area. We're looking to secure more. We've got 2 other small chain grocery stores that we're working with. So again, it's the Eddie Wright Barbecue brand. When I tell you it's grassroots, it is 3 employees, and all of them live with me. So it's as grassroots can get. Majority of the time, it's just me. I got to go tomorrow and pick up 25 cases from the co-packer to give to Kroger because they ordered a restock. But that's just, again, that's the grind of small business.
Yeah.
And you understand that just as well as anybody else, man. When it's time to go, you got to go.
Do you have any more coming out besides Sweet Charlene?
Yes, we are currently in development of a lemon pepper seasoning. Now that one will be and she doesn't know this, maybe she'll watch it, but that one we plan on calling it Beautiful, and that's a nickname my girlfriend has, and that's a hat tip to her because I took over her patio and kitchen and created this barbecue thing. So the best thing I could do to her is to give her something that people would enjoy that's always tied to her.
Well, yeah. I mean, she supports you with your
habit. Right. The habit. And strangely enough, my dad, we're not giving him a seasoning, but over the past 2 years, we have been rebuilding a old 1974 square body that's been in our family for over 30 years, and it's been sitting for 20 plus years in this backyard. And boy, let me tell you, if you don't know anything about building cars, don't go rebuilding old square bodies. Oh, I did not know. So that project's also coming to a close. My dad's an Air Force veteran, and we're going to present that to him, and hopefully it gives him a little bit of a happy sequence. He always says, "Hey, come ride me around till I get sleepy." So now I'll be able to, hey, let's go for a ride in the truck.
Yeah.
These are times that I'm appreciative to have, because I know not everybody has them, and to be able to use barbecue as a catalyst to continue to bind my family together and continue to tell my story and tell my parents' story, while they're here is literally it's living the dream.
No, I think that's really cool that a nod to both of your parents and your girlfriend, that you're able to do that, and that you did that. I won't go into detail. My team is Weekend Bum Barbecue, and that was actually a nod to my dad. His CB handle back in the 70s was the Weekend Bum, because he was always off fishing or hunting somewhere, and so that was a nod to him. And when I rolled my rubs out, same type of thing. He'd always joke, he's like, "All right, you got a new rub. Where's my free hat or koozie or something?" So, but it's always cool just to be able to do that. That's I knew that for is him. So
right.
Yep. My nod to my wife is the hot and bothered, because she was mad when I was trying to name it.
That's gonna make me think differently when I use that one now, Brian. So.
Oh man, sorry, had to put that out there.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Brian. I was just gonna ask. Obviously, cooking, we know where you started, kind of what your transition, how you're doing. You're into the food truck, eventually I'm going to call it the food complex is what I'm going to call it, that you're going to have there. But have you ever dabbled in or thought about dabbling in competition at all?
Oh yeah, that's kind of where phase 1 was before we got into 1A, which was the food.
Oh,
truck.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shouts out to Jonathan, them, and the gang over at Grills of Mississippi. Jonathan and Tracy Hobson. Hold on, my son's ringing the doorbell. I can be right back.
Okay. And while we wait,
we got a break. Perfect time to announce our sponsors.
Pizza delivery.
Oh, hi, bye.
It's my son coming home.
It's all good. So we're talking competition. So you've done some competitions then, huh?
Yeah, I have. We've won quite a few competitions. Not a ton, but again, we're a small operation, and my team is comprised of several veterans and a couple people again who I've met through social media, and their story is similar to my story. I walked into Jonathan's store, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm trying to barbecue. I need to know which direction I need to go." And he gave me the layout. He was very honest with me, and they invited me to, I believe it was Smoking on the Reds. That was my first look at a barbecue competition. I was like, I think I want to try this. And little did I know, I got hooked, line and sinker.
Swallow that treble hook, it ain't coming out.
Yeah, man. I think by the end of that year, we had the 20-foot trailer, and I was trying to drag it around with an old Suburban LTZ before I put third in the pan a year later. And man, it was just but it's been a great experience the entire time. I hate that we can't get out as much as we used to, because strangely enough, several of the guys who are on my team also have barbecue food trucks. So it's just like a cool revolving door. When I'm not able to do it, I can call one of my guys and pass it on to them. And, it's just kind of pouring into each other's cup as we kind of go along. And that's competition, again, was where it kind of began, and we just kind of transitioned it. That's why people always say, well, it's not your traditional barbecue. No, it's not. It has a little bit of a competition flair every now and then it's got what we like to put together and deliver on a consistent basis. So
I just saw something you posted on you got a ghost running behind you.
Yeah.
You posted something on Facebook. Was that like a city award or? What was that?
That was Taste of Mississippi. That happened Monday of last week. It's a event put on by Stew Pot of Mississippi every year. They do a fantastic job of feeding the homeless and less privileged throughout the year. They put this event on every year. So restaurants, food trucks, and different vendors from around the city and sometimes the state come by, and they, show their wares, invite the people out. People come out, and it is a lot of people that come out to eat and sample and have a good time. So the first year we went as a judge. And again, here we go, going as a judge. And I was like, I think I want to do this. Here we go. Last year was our first year, and we did a pork belly taco. And the events was like from 6 to 9:30. And my line was from 6 to 9:30 the entire time. And I'm just like, people really like tacos. So this year we changed it up. We were coming off of a weekend of a very busy weekend of caterings and pop-ups. So I was just like, let me do something really simple, neat, cost efficient, and just kind of not necessarily mail it in, but I just didn't want to overly exert myself like I did the year before. Mm-hmm. And we put together a smoked and shredded beef and Coca-Cola. And we paired that with a cheese grit with a jerk rotel tomato, a roasted jerk rotel tomato over the top. And
that was simple.
Yeah, simple, man. It's great. And we delivered it with a nice story as an ode to our family, again, who hails from home county, and they were sharecroppers. We called it a sharecropper delight. And it resonated well with the judges that night, and we brought it on home.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love hearing that. That's great.
Definitely. So what is your outlook on more things like that outside of the comps, but kind of that style of a comp?
Community related.
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's really great for me and the brand because it gives people the ability to see me and hear me face to face. And not necessarily I put on a show, but when I'm in that mode, Brian, when I'm delivering you a spiel, it's like live from TV. I want to reel you in. I want to tell you a story. I want to love on you. I want to give you what I have to offer. Yeah. And I do that day in, day out. And I have a good time doing it. When we did Jackson Food and Wine, we had a fantastic time. But again, we had the line of all lines. And then people were coming back for thirds and fourths, and we still had food. Because with that food, it comes a great conversation, it comes love, and it comes an introduction to myself and the product and our story. And people love our story. Like I had no idea I would be here 4 years ago. I was just trying to stabilize my life when the world was shutting down around us and just keep some bills paid. And here I am today.
Yeah.
Well, and it obviously, with lines at events like this and different things and your success over these 4 years, because a lot of restaurants don't make it 1 year, let alone 4. People are buying into you, right. Not just your food, but it is you, because you obviously treat it like everybody's coming in as family, and you have those conversations and stuff. Right. So people get into that. So that's just an awesome success story. I love hearing that. I gotta figure out when I can get to Mississippi now. I don't know. I don't need to expand my sales territory, but I may have to figure out how to get down there. So
let's just plan a road trip. Why not?
Oh boy.
That's my next thing to do. I'm calling a series called Half Truck Will Travel, and I'll be using my dad's old truck. And like I said, that's just part of it, man. Half Truck Will Travel. Go out, see people, talk food, talk barbecue, and tell a story or listen to their story. And it's just, again, it's a bunch of crazy ideas I have. But again, to be able to try and do it is the thrill of it all. And putting it on social media, and whether I hit one person or 1 million, if I hit one, then my job's done.
Yep.
I'm fine, because it's going to live forever out there.
Yeah. No.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you have sponsors at all? Is this just you, all you?
This is all me. And Super Clean. Super Clean sends me stuff, but it's cleaning stuff. So, I got to do a giveaway for them too. I've been supposed to do it in January. I'm way behind. But other than that, it's just me, man. It's just me and the gang and the family.
That's awesome. And what was your website?
It is
EddieWrightBarbecue.com.
EddieWrightBBQ.com. That is our website right now, to where you can find us and order anything you may need. We will ship you ribs nationwide or whatever you want.
Really?
Properly
Okay.
packaged. Yeah, properly
Yeah.
packaged and frozen safely. So yeah, have no fear. Airmail is here.
When you cook your ribs, is it fat cap up or down?
It depends on which way the heat's flowing.
Oh, so let me come back to real quick. I didn't ask. What do you cook on for your food truck?
It depends on how I'm feeling. I will honestly say that I have amassed a catalog of equipment that is shameful to even say within 4 years. When you look at it on paper, it is scarily insane. But I began with a Green Mountain Grill, Jim Boy Prime, pellet grill. I paid that grill paid for itself in 1 week.
Wow.
1 solid week. I cooked. Let me tell you how bad. I cooked on that grill so much it just stopped. It just stopped. It stopped cooking properly. And GMG didn't have an answer for it. Everything, it was just like, hey, I am done, sir. I've got nothing else to offer you.
You wore me out.
You have worn every bit. To put me in the can, sir. I am done. But now we have a catalog of we have 6 pits. We've got a small camp chef that I despise that just kind of hangs out in the corner. I have 2 Old Hickory CTOs, a 2021, and I have a relic of a CTO RR that they do not make anymore, that I broke and repaired with help from a lot of different individuals because I had no idea what I was doing. We also have a Yoder Y640S, and I have acquired a Old Hickory ELEDX that sits on its own separate trailer.
Okay.
And that completes my catalog. What I like to call pit row.
Yeah.
Nice.
I figure the Old Hickories are known for, doing their workhorse for food trucks or restaurants.
Consistent.
So, yeah.
Day in, day out. That ELEDX, I will throw 1 brisket in that thing and let it cook. It is insanely accurate. It's just, I don't know how they do it, man. It's just an amazing pit. The more you put in it, the better it cooks.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, Eddie, I want to say thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, this has been great, man. I'm a pleasure meeting you. I'm going to be watching more YouTube videos. So
thanks for having me, man. Yeah, because it's about to crank up real fast right now. Because I got a message today from my councilman, was like, "Hey, how long before you paint?" They're like, hurry up.
When you get the compound built up out there and get it all going.
We've got neighbors who aren't very happy with what we're doing, but I'm just like, y'all are national chains. Why are y'all worried about me?
Yeah. Well, you ought to contact some TV crews and try to look into like a little TV episode or TV show or something.
That would definitely be cool. I don't have the slightest idea who to contact.
Me neither.
But I appreciate you guys for having me, man. It's always a great opportunity to be able to share my story and share it amongst guys around the fire. It's been a great time.
Definitely. No, I love it. And I hope to meet you in person one day, whether we're down in your neck of the woods or you come up our way.
I'm pretty sure we will cross paths. Like I said, before I do this thing full steam, I got to come see a lot of different barbecue restaurants and guys and see how they get down. That's market research, and I'm not walking into this blindly.
Well, so open invitation. The American Royals, obviously, in our backyard. Right. I do a party with several other guys. We call it the barbecue compound, actually. Smoking Elvises. Yes, they do put on the jumpsuits at the end of the party, at the end of the night, and it's quite an ordeal. So you're always welcome to that if you want to come. So
gotcha. I that may just be on the look for this year. We may not make. We definitely not going to make Memphis in May. I don't want to go to any of those without the guys who I've been comping with, because it's just. And I've had invitations. I want that to be the experience with the team.
Oh yeah.
So those are 2 of the places we're definitely going to go as a unit. So I look forward to coming up there.
Cool. Well, Eddie, you have a great night. Get some rest because I'm sure you got to get up early to get things rolling tomorrow.
Yeah, I do. Got to make a drive.
There you
Be
go.
in touch, man. Thank you.
All right,
man.
Thank you,
Y'all
Eddie.
have
Have a
great
great night. Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.